The deep sea is the largest and oldest mystery on Earth. Very little is known about it. So it kind of makes sense that we're going through this weird situation right now, right at this critical juncture. The buns floating in the sea infected the crew member, named Shelly again. Strange things that heal its burns appear one after another. Hearing loss and intentionally sympathizing with the monster. Start thinking in his shoes to save the poor sea monster. Shelly plunged into the warehouse of the drilling platform, in the dark and windy night of each month. Rendezvous with the previous to infected. This warehouse holds both oil and a production module that is responsible for pumping oil. It's the artery of the oil rig. If you try to crack the computer in front of you, you can stop pumping. To protect the monsters at the bottom of the sea. After all, if you continue to smoke, sea soars will be completely destroyed. The sea monster will die. Humans infected with buns think they have become part of the sea monster. So protect him, whatever you say. But then again, Xiaoli and the 3 infected people are all ordinary red workers in the drilling well, who knows how to hack a computer to pause and step on oil. After several consecutive attempts, as they grew impatient, they resorted to violence. The result is a machine error, causing the platform pressure to rise sharply towards the collision. All the workers in the well will be blown up together. Although the company places profits first, unless you have to stop the equipment. But at present, the supervisor, Uncle Wong, saw that the pressure had reached the limit. If you don't do something right away, you will turn around and go to another world. Think about it. He chose to disobey company orders. Deploy an underwater drone and dive into the deep sea. Well valves installed on the seabed closed. So far, the danger can only be said to have disappeared temporarily. After all, infected people exist for a day. Oil wells are not safe for a day. What's more, over time, the number of people infected is bound to increase. However, when everyone is discussing how to deal with the infected, there was light outside the window. People thought it was rescue. However, to everyone's surprise, the source of the light was actually a rescue boat approaching the drilling rig. It turns out that these people are from the drilling rig Block C that exploded earlier. Among the rescued crew was a fat man who blinked. This person has a wide body plate of 200 caddies. It's the steward in Block C. He showed no signs of emotion after his rescue. Instead, he calmly found Uncle Wong, said to check if the equipment here is still running normally. Since when do you still want to work for the company? Uncle Fang is also a smart person. He must have known that there was something wrong with Fatty. To understand the confidence of this guy, he found an employee who bought it from someone who was with the fat man. I hope the other party has something to say. And this kid is very sensible. Drag it out immediately. Soon I learned from the book that the explosion of Block C was actually related to the fat man. Everything was fine there. Pumping efficiency is high. But the fat man received the order from the company. They had employees bring these mysterious trachea pipes down to the sea floor, and they did it within days. The pressure on the drilling platform rose sharply, even when the situation becomes dangerous. But Fatty still let everyone obey the order regardless. As a result, more gas is being transported like the ocean floor, plunged into the platform and exploded. And there is a mist of anger in the sea. Such a terrifying scene. Ordinary people should be scared to death when they see it. However, Fatty seemed to have expected all of this. And he was so calm. Directly greet the colleagues next to you to get on the dinghy and run away. To be honest, this guy's every move is revealing weird intentions. In order to understand what the fat man wants to do, the staff system of sending people to land on the yacht for comfort prevention. Search this guy's attendance records. See if you can find any inverse. However, I was busy with a complete defeat. The information in the system has been deliberately cleared. Obviously, we won't be able to figure out the purpose of Fatty coming here for a while. And time is precious than idle. Now everyone turned their heads and focused their attention back on the sea monster. I want to find out his habits and origins. After all, know yourself and know your enemies and win every battle. Understanding the monster is the first step to defeating him. Soon after collecting information continuously, the deputy discovered that basically all humans were infected. After being trapped, they will draw some circles for no reason. If you look closely, it's very regular. There are a total of 5 closed rings in this circle, and the 6th loop is about to close. After thinking for days, the deputy guessed that the circle might be like a vertical growth ring. It's used by sea monsters to time. After all, he had lived for a year. A century or 1,000 years is just an instant to him. So the sea monster simply recorded the event in its own way. That is every time a serious natural disaster occurs on the Earth. When causing a mass extinction, the sea monster will draw a circle. So far, the Earth has experienced a total of 5 mass extinctions, so there are also 5 completely closed circles. They want to bow their heads and sweat on the spot. It feels like when the 6th circle closes, it will be the next mass extinction. Perhaps humanity will soon become extinct, even if it sounds scary. But Fat Four still goes his own way, refusing to reveal the true purpose of his trip. Now he just wants to get rid of the infected in the warehouse as soon as possible. Remaster the production module there. Keep pumping, facing former compatriots who have become infected. This guy is not soft at all. Directly tricked the crew into connecting the mysterious trachea, previously used in Block C, to the fire protection system here. Spray to warehouse. The fat bug jar contains 12 carbon dioxide. As long as the patent leather inside is released, the infected person in the warehouse can be stunned. The resumption of production is just around the corner. Take a few bonuses casually, maybe for the sake of money. And the crew was thrilled. Immediately follow the fat man's instructions. It's just that no one thought. The bottle actually contains poison gas. 3 infected people passed out immediately after inhalation. Fortunately, at a critical juncture, Revenge was found to be bad when it was under surveillance. Immediately ran to the warehouse to save people, but he was in a hurry, or he was too late, which caused an unlucky egg to bleed from the 7 orifices and not be rescued, seeing the promised carbon dioxide turn into poison gas, and it cost people their lives, so people were outraged. Whatever you say, let the fat man pay for his life. But online books are wiser. After all, compared to killing fat people. Or is it more practical to pry more useful information from his mouth? This is not after giving the fat man some intensity. This person finally has something to say, admitted that the canister contained poison gas. Except it wasn't originally intended to smoke people. It's for sea monsters. The fat man has only one purpose, and that is to pump the gas down to the sea floor, so as to block and kill the monsters there. However, the release of toxic gas will also increase the pressure on the drilling platform dramatically. That's why Block C exploded. Said he directly killed dozens of people. But he died with no guilt at all. Escaped directly in the speedboat to Block B, and continue to think about poisoning the monster. The reason why the fat man wants to kill the monster. All because he represents the best interests of the oil companies. The rig needs to pump as much oil as possible. Said the appearance of the sea monster would completely disrupt the plan. After all, sea monsters are called the ancients. He has lived on Earth for hundreds of millions of years. What this guy does when he touches the oil is he turns it into organic material and destroy the entire oil field. The most important thing is that the buns released by the monsters can also parasitize humans if you don't attack the monster soon. Sooner or later, humanity will perish. But what the fat man said soon met with vengeful opposition. After all, the Revenge investigation found that this monster, known as the Ancient One, is a vast expanse of stuff that sits on the bottom of the sea. In short, where there is sea, there is him. Want to kill monsters? Unless the sea is filled with poison. Obviously, such outrageous operation would never succeed at all. And not being able to strike a lethal plan can only further anger the monster, increase his anger towards humans. So except for the front. The deputy thinks we might as well contact the monster as much as possible through the infected. Just shows that humans are not actually hostile. We each live our own lives. Strive for well water, not to violate river water. But the fat man thinks it's far from enough. After all, humans and monsters are intelligent creatures with a mind. And intelligent creatures are inherently selfish. How can the two survive peacefully? There are only winners who are king and losers who are the losers. As he spoke, he intended to continue delivering poison gas to the seabed. Of course, fat people are not stupid. He knew that his resignation might anger the monster. The necessary drilling rig was destroyed. The reason why he dared to do it was because he stayed behind. In fact, the company has long been aware that monsters have the ability to cut off communication, so they made a pact with the Fat Man as long as they lost contact. For more than 2 days, a helicopter will be sent to pick them up. The Fat Man, who originally had a way out, was going to give it a try before leaving, forcibly delivering poison gas to the seabed. But unexpectedly, the monster launched an attack with one hand, and it sends waves straight into the well. Fortunately, in the last few seconds when the platform was destroyed, Uncle Wong and his deputy waited for the management to barely board the plane and escape. It's just that no one thought the final destination of an airplane is not land. Instead, he turned around and flew to another secret base in the sea, where scalding death will continue to brew even more terrifying plans, until the sea monster is completely killed. By this time, the story of the first season of Drilling is all over. A sequel is expected next.